Since his MVP caliber 2017 season, Carson Wentz has possibly established himself as one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. In the 37 games that Carson Wentz has started since that 2017 season, Carson Wentz has only provided 68 touchdowns to 47 turnovers, and the Eagles are only 17, 19, and 1 in those 37 games. And the only real reason that the Philadelphia Eagles are at least competitive within their division is because through the past 3 years, the NFC East has been coined the NFC least and is by far the worst division in the NFL. And what makes it worse for the Eagles is that they actually have a pretty good defense in terms of being able to keep points off the board and limit the other team's yardage. They rank 10th in terms of yards allowed, and they rank in the middle, right, actually dead in the middle in terms of points allowed at 16th. However, their offense, due to the fact that Carson Wentz turns the ball over way too much and the fact that they just don't put points up on the board because of those turnovers, has hurt not only the offense but the defense as well. And it's very apparent that the games that Carson Wentz has had multiple turnovers is possibly the reason that they've either lost or tied in those games. Look at the game that they tied against the Cincinnati Bengals 23-23. The 2 turnovers that Carson Wentz had easily could have led to either a field goal to win the game or a touchdown to win the game. Look at the first game against the Washington football team. He turned the ball over 3 times. They only lost by 10 points. I think you could see where they could have won that game. And this has been the story throughout the whole year, even in games where the Eagles won. They only beat the Dallas Cowboys by 14 a few weeks ago. That was a game in which I believe Ben DiNucci started that game. And if you're Carson Wentz and you're a guy that's supposed to be looked at as one of the best quarterbacks in the league or possibly one of the next best quarterbacks in the league, you can't be going out there tossing 4 turnovers to a team that doesn't force a lot of turnovers. In fact, the Cowboys are 31st in terms of forcing takeaways on the defensive side of the ball. And you can't give them 4 turnovers, and you can't beat Ben DiNucci by only 14 points. That just isn't a good look for you. Now, when it comes to the fact of either starting Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts for this Philadelphia offense, I think at this point the only possible good move that can happen is putting Jalen Hurts at the starting quarterback position, both due to the fact that Carson Wentz is a turnover-prone quarterback who has led his team to only a 3-6-1 record this year, but the fact that it would help develop Jalen Hurts, and you could possibly see what your offense looks like without Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback. I think the worst thing that happened for the Philadelphia Eagles is everybody started jumping on the Carson Wentz train after his MVP season. And deservedly so. Carson Wentz played very well that year. He was towards the top of the MVP rankings. However, ever since he tore his ACL that year, he's been an inconsistent quarterback, he's been a turnover-prone quarterback, and he's been a quarterback with a below 500 winning percentage. And everyone has decided to just put those issues on either the receiving core being lackluster, the defense not being good enough, the offensive line not being good enough. It seemed like every single problem that could have just been easily allocated to Carson Wentz, like we do with almost every single other quarterback, we decided to put those problems on the other guys within the offense and on the defensive side of the ball, as well as I think many people decided to blame the coaching staff, which they probably didn't deserve. And now with Jalen Hurts being basically relegated to being a change of pace quarterback, I guess you can say, or just a read option quarterback. You know, at this point, Jalen Hurts has not done anything for the offense. He was a second-round pick that many people have decided to just coin as a wasted pick at this point. But, you know, I think at this point, if they put Jalen Hurts in, they can get rid of the stigma that he was a wasted pick. Not only that, but I think it's a move that's probably for the best of the offense as well. As I said, Carson Wentz has been one of the most turnover-prone quarterbacks in the league. In fact, this year he has 8 turnovers to his name, which I don't know for sure where it ranks amongst the rest of the quarterbacks, but I can assure you it's in the bottom 5 of the league in terms of, you know, or I guess it's in the top 5 of the league in terms of quarterbacks turning the ball over. But if you put somebody in like Jalen Hurts, you're going to limit your turnovers because of the fact that he's a rookie quarterback. You're going to be... I think you're going to be adding a running element because Carson Wentz this year has not been very aggressive with running the ball. He's taken 40 sacks this year in 10 games, and I think we could see that number balloon up to upwards of almost 60 if the Philadelphia Eagles keep him in the game, which all those hits on Carson Wentz add into the fact that he's probably going to turn over the ball another 6 to 7 times in those 6 games. And you're looking at a guy who's got 60 sacks to his name. You're looking at a guy who has upwards of almost maybe even 30 turnovers by the end of the year. And if you try to get a guy traded that has those numbers to him, you're not going to get a lot of value as much as you would if you just take him out now. If you take Carson Wentz out now, put Jalen Hurts in, you can say that you're making the move that's better for the future of the team. You're saying that you're making the move for the betterment of your rookie quarterback and the betterment of developing the young guys on this team. Because whether Eagles fans like to admit it or not, if they make the playoffs, they're going to get absolutely curb stomped by any team that they're going to be playing, even if it's a wild card team, even if it's somebody like maybe the 49ers, the Rams. I don't know who they would be playing, but whoever they end up playing, they're going to get absolutely demolished because of the fact that they have a turnover-prone quarterback. And again, it's just going to hurt his value even more than he already has this year. And Carson Wentz, I think at this point, still has potential value within the league. I think everybody understands that Carson Wentz is a talented guy. I understand that he's a talented guy. But even with talent, you have to be able to hold on to the ball. It doesn't matter how talented you are. And I think that many people would point to the fact that their offensive line has been often injured, their receiving core has been often injured, their running backs have been often injured. And that's great for the Eagles, because if everyone still is blaming everybody else besides Carson Wentz up to this point, then just bench Carson Wentz. And you can say, you know, we have an injury-prone team. We have a team that, even if we make the playoffs, we're going to get destroyed. We're possibly going to be looking at a team that has 6 wins by the end of the year and possibly still in the playoffs. And with a rookie quarterback, you have to put a rookie quarterback in now. You can't wait until Carson Wentz's contract is up, because if you wait till Carson Wentz's contract is up, Jalen Hurts is going to be 26 or 27 years old. Carson Wentz might get another contract with the Eagles. Then by the time Jalen Hurts actually gets in the game as a starting quarterback, he could be over 30 years old in 7 or 8 years by the time he actually hits the field. So at this point, you have to say we're putting in Jalen Hurts now because A, it develops him. B, it gets your offense used to having a guy like Jalen Hurts in the game. C, it makes your offense better because they're not going to be turning the ball over. And the team, I think, is better off because if you're able to move on from Carson Wentz, get a draft pick for him, get maybe a skill position player for him, your team is going to be infinitely much better than it was when he was in the game. And I think up to this point, the only reason Doug Peterson hasn't put Jalen Hurts in the game is the reason he thinks that Jalen Hurts isn't ready. But that just hurts. It hurts his standing to me within coaches in the league, because look at how many teams have switched up quarterbacks that possibly weren't ready to go into the game. You know, the Chicago Bears put Nick Foles into the game. Obviously, he wasn't ready, and it didn't work out. And we're killing the Bears for the move that they made right now. But if you look at the Dolphins, Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing incredibly well for the Dolphins. They put Tua Tagovailoa in the game, even though nobody really saw it coming. They put Tua Tagovailoa in the game. They won 3 straight. It could end up working out very well for the Eagles. It could end up either working out very well, or they could lose a bunch of games like the Bears did. But I think either way, they have a win in that position. Because if you're putting in Jalen Hurts, you're at least developing him. You're at least seeing what he can do well for your offense. You're at least seeing what he can do poorly for your offense. And with a rookie guy, you want to see what he does poorly, because you want to develop him and make him better at what he's not very great at. And if he goes in the game and plays tremendously, then you don't got to worry. But if he goes in the game, plays well in spots, but poor in others, then you have something to work with Jalen Hurts. At this point with Carson Wentz, he's 28 years old. He's going to be 29 by the time next year starts. You know already what you have in Carson Wentz. He can't develop any more than he already has. Throw in the fact that he's torn his ACL. Throw in the fact that he's been hurt many other times. You know what you're getting with Carson Wentz in terms of a turnover-prone, injury-prone quarterback. You have no idea what you have at this point with Jalen Hurts. So put him in now, and you can figure out what you have later. With all that being said, that's going to be the video for me. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like. If you didn't, make sure you leave a dislike. Any feedback from you all at this point is much appreciated. If you're an Eagles fan, or if you're Carson Wentz and you're seeing this and you hate me, then leave a comment down below and tell me why. And if you're new around here, make sure you hit subscribe. I try to put out as much content as possible, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.